Good morning, I'm Jason Pandak with Amerivet Securities. I'm here with Tate Nurkin from OTH Intelligence Group. He is our subject matter expert on China. He's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council, and he has testified in front of the U.S.-China Economic Security and Review Commission for the U.S. Congress. Tate, welcome.
Thanks, great to be here.
I want to talk about a couple of things that have been in the news recently, and the first one is the most recent, the big spat between the NBA and China.
Right.
And I wanted to find out if that was something that had happened frequently, or is that a one-off event?
Well, it's certainly not a one-off, both in the sense that it's happened before. Indeed, in 2018, probably the best example, or the closest analog, was that there were three U.S.-based airlines, American Airlines, Delta, and United, were all threatened with fines and restricted access to the market and sort of changed partnerships with local carriers if they didn't change content on their website and booking tools that indicated that Taipei was part of an independent country known as Taiwan.
I see.
Obviously, Taiwan is I think the 21st largest economy in the world and the 11th largest trading partner for the United States. But in China's eyes, it's part of China. And so these companies all took efforts to change, different efforts, but they all took efforts to change that content, and therefore those economic consequences weren't felt immediately. So it has happened before, and I think it will happen again. I think one of the things that we see in China is a growing sensitivity, not just a growing authoritarianism, which is definitely taking place, but a growing sensitivity to these political, cultural, social, economic issues that are core to China's identity. And companies doing business there are going to have to be equally as sensitive to those issues if they want to stay there and do business and have a profitable relationship. So there's a decision to be made. Even sometimes those China's worldviews doesn't align with the worldviews of these companies, but adapting to China's worldview is, I think, a prerequisite now for those companies who are willing to do business there.
I see. And so some folks who may not be adapting to China's worldview, I think, would be the protesters in Hong Kong. And obviously that's been in the news for the last almost 6 months now. And I really wanted to get your opinion on if you are going and making any new recommendations for companies that have business interests there, if they have senior executives that are traveling there, if they have staff and or family that are living in Hong Kong. Are you actually changing any of your recommendations based on the situation there as it's developed?
Well, it is becoming and has become a very troubling situation on every level. From a risk perspective, I think this has been going on for 6 months, and over the last month it seems to have really accelerated in terms of the actual physical confrontations. Hong Kong police shooting a protester. Right. There was one citizen who was set on fire by protesters who, but the police are now circulating the university there. I mean, you can just feel sort of the tensions ratcheting up. So I do think there is a sense that the situation is teetering between anarchy and some degree of order. I think in that environment, companies should be very wary and take all the precautions necessary to keep their people who are on the ground there safe. So I've read about some companies implementing work from home sort of things, clearly staying out of the trouble. But this situation isn't going to go away. So I think companies need to understand that risk is going to probably stay that way for a while, and start thinking of ways that they can anticipate the situation deteriorating even further. So set up indicators and hedging strategies and plans in advance of how to keep people safe on the ground there.
I see. And in terms of people who are traveling, would it be safe to say that you would recommend that they not partake in commentary on the situation on social media?
Yeah, I mean, it's a personal decision. Clearly, the protesters in Hong Kong feel an existential threat to their freedoms, and if people want to comment on that is their business. But it comes with risk. It comes with clear risk, as the NBA situation revealed. So,
certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you putting the white paper with all the additional information and additional resources together for us.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for coming up this morning, and thank you for spending the time with us.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
Great.